Welcome, I am the Elder Scroller. Today, I am starting a new lore series of all of the vaults from the Fallout games in numerical order. At the end of this series, I will also cover Vault 33 from Amazon's TV show. For easy viewing, each episode will be under 10 minutes and this will be a multi-part series. So sit back, relax, grab some sugar bombs and enjoy. By the year 2054, the United States government was faced with the reality that atomic warfare was unavoidable. Resources were becoming increasingly rare. The United Nations had collapsed years prior and a nuclear exchange had recently erupted in the Middle East, making it the first use of atomic weapons on a civilian population. For these reasons, China would invade Alaska, the United States would annex Canada, and the European Commonwealth would dissolve into quarreling, bickering nation-states, bent on controlling the last remaining resources on Earth. In 2077, the storm of World War had come again. In 2 brief hours, most of the planet was reduced to cinders, and from the ashes of nuclear devastation, a new civilization would struggle to arise. Within the shared canon of the Fallout games and show, vaults are sprawling underground bunkers. They were commissioned by the US government and designed and built by the Vault Tech Corporation between 2054 and 2074. Vaults were theoretically self-sufficient and capable of keeping inhabitants and their descendants alive long enough to repopulate the United States following nuclear devastation. The original plan was for 400,000 vaults to house the wider population, however. Only 122 of the survival shelters were ever built. This, coupled with widespread disbelief regarding the gravity of the situation, ensured that only a very small number of people were safely sealed away in the vaults when nuclear war broke out between the United States and China in 2077. These vault dwellers experienced wildly different circumstances, depending on their vault. Only 17 of Vault Tech's 122 vaults actually functioned as promised. The rest were part of a series of covered science experiments, with the occupants serving as unwitting test subjects. The Enclave, a deep-state capitalistic group that infiltrated Vault Tech, oversaw these experiments. Their methods ranged from the practical cryogenics to the downright bonkers human sacrifice. Predictably, how long a vault's population lasted largely depended on the nature of the Enclave's research there. Other factors such as bad manufacturing impacted the vault's respective survival rates as well. In this lore series, we are going to go over each vault's experiments, locations, and the final consequences of those experiments. To start off, for this episode, we are going to look at Vault Zero. Unlike most vaults involved in the Vault experiment, Vault Zero was not an experiment in human behavior. It was constructed by expanding and reinforcing the Cheyenne Mountain complex in Colorado and was by far the largest of the underground vaults. It was intended to be the nucleus of the Vault network. Vault Zero was a place where the geniuses of the United States could be kept in cryogenic stasis. Their brains were extracted and frozen for the duration of their residence in this vault. They were hooked up together to one big supercomputer called the Calculator, which was supposed to function in collaboration with the brains of these geniuses to design and nurture an ideal human society in the post-war-torn United States by educating the survivors and residents. Due to budget cutbacks by the Department of Defense because of a false sense of safety as a result of the repeated drills, several important backup systems were not included in the Neuralink systems. This caused the Calculator to become corrupted, and instead of releasing the robots to make the wasteland safe for humanity, the Vault Zero robots began to exterminate all life, completing the so-called pacification protocol. As for the geniuses plugged in, most of them suffered severe brain damage, dementia, and cognitive deficits from a combination of age and prolonged radiation exposure, not mutation. Vault Zero thus becomes the endgame setting of Fallout Tactics, as the player character, the Warrior, and their team of Brotherhood of Steel Paladins have to stop the machine. There, they finally met the infamous Dagger Squad of the Brotherhood, which consisted of squad leader Paladin Lord Maximus, Ties, Mylera, Cronies, and Phoenix. Dagger Squad aided the Warrior in defeating the first wave of Vault Protectors, and then secured the lift which later could be used to enter the Calculator's chamber. The Vault power nodes were rendered offline after an explosion, so the Warrior had to activate them manually. Going through security, living quarters, and cryogenics facilities at the Vault, the Warrior battles many robots and encounters remnants of Vault Zero citizens, who are revealed to be severely brain damaged due to malfunctions in the cryogenic chambers. Ultimately, the The warrior activates the power nodes and proceeds to the lift, entering the calculator's main lair to complete the Brotherhood's mission of stopping the calculator.
Neural net stabilizing. Organic processor installation complete. Transmitting halt orders to all external units. Our merge begins.
Be sure to subscribe if you enjoyed this lore video of Vault Zero and click that notification bell for future videos. Thanks for watching.